For 4 years, he robbed casinos across America. This is how the FBI finally caught the Casino Bandit. Marcus Rivera had once worked the professional poker circuit across Nevada and California. But by 2018, his gambling debts had mounted and his patience had run out. On March 15th, Rivera walked into the Sunset Casino in Las Vegas, pulled a .38 revolver from his jacket, and became one of America's most wanted fugitives. "Everyone on the ground, now!" Rivera shouted as he vaulted over the cashier's cage. Security footage shows him pistol whipping a guard who moved too slowly, fracturing the man's skull. Rivera escaped with $47,000 in cash and chips, but more importantly, he had discovered a deadly new profession. Over the next 8 months, Rivera struck again and again. Phoenix, Tucson, Albuquerque, Colorado Springs. His pattern was methodical and violent. Armed with a handgun, he targeted smaller casinos during shift changes when security was transitional. He knew the business, understood the routines, and exploited every vulnerability. By November 2018, Rivera had robbed 11 casinos across 4 states, stealing over $380,000, and leaving a trail of traumatized employees and injured security guards. His violence escalated with each heist. In Colorado Springs, he fired 2 shots, barely missing a pregnant cashier who couldn't open the safe fast enough. Federal investigators say Rivera's casino knowledge made him uniquely dangerous. He understood surveillance blind spots, knew which exits led where, and could calculate police response times. This wasn't random violence. This was a predator who had weaponized his insider knowledge against an entire industry. On November 28, 2018, the FBI added Marcus Rivera to their 10 most wanted list. The charges: armed robbery across state lines, assault with a deadly weapon, and federal firearms violations. The reward: $100,000 for information leading to his capture. Rivera was armed, extremely dangerous, and according to federal agents, just getting started. Rivera's last confirmed sighting came from casino security cameras in Denver on November 22, 2018. 6 days later, authorities found his stolen Ford Explorer abandoned in a Walmart parking lot in Grand Junction, Colorado. The vehicle had been wiped clean. No prints, no DNA, no trace of where Marcus Rivera had vanished. Within hours, the FBI's Las Vegas field office launched Operation High Roller, a multi-state task force dedicated to capturing the Casino Bandit. Special Agent Jennifer Walsh, a 15-year veteran of organized crime investigations, was assigned as lead coordinator. Her team would eventually grow to include 25 agents across 6 states. Rivera understood how casinos worked, but he also understood how investigations worked. Agent Walsh would later explain. He was methodical about covering his tracks, and that made him extremely dangerous to pursue. The early leads came fast but led nowhere. Casino employees across 4 states provided detailed descriptions, but Rivera had used crude disguises: different colored wigs, fake facial hair, colored contact lenses. Facial recognition software struggled with the inconsistencies. Witnesses described him as anywhere from 5'8" to 6'2", with eyes that changed color depending on who was asked. The FBI followed hundreds of tips that first winter. A man matching Rivera's description was reportedly spotted in Reno, Las Vegas, and Phoenix, sometimes on the same day. The $100,000 reward generated over 400 calls to the FBI tip line, but each lead dissolved under investigation. By spring 2019, the trail had gone completely cold. Rivera's known bank accounts remained untouched. His associates claimed they hadn't heard from him. Even his ex-wife in California insisted she hadn't seen him since their divorce 3 years earlier. He had cash, experience staying off the grid, and every reason to remain hidden, explains retired FBI profiler Dr. Michael Santos. We knew he was out there, planning his next move. The question wasn't if Rivera would strike again, it was when and where. The FBI's strategy was methodical and expensive. Operation High Roller deployed cutting-edge facial recognition technology to over 400 casinos nationwide. Every major gaming establishment from Las Vegas to Atlantic City was connected to a federal database designed to identify Rivera within seconds of him entering their doors. Months turned into years. The task force burned through $2 million in federal resources, chasing leads across the American gaming landscape. Agent Walsh's team worked around the clock, analyzing thousands of hours of surveillance footage, coordinating with local law enforcement, never giving up hope. Then came the near misses that would define the investigation. In June 2020, security cameras at a San Diego casino captured a man who looked exactly like Rivera. FBI agents surrounded the building within 20 minutes, but their target had vanished through a service exit. DNA testing on a discarded coffee cup came back negative. 8 months later, facial recognition triggered an alert at a Houston casino. This time, the FBI coordinated with local SWAT teams for a full takedown operation. But when they moved in, agents found a Rivera look-alike who turned out to be a retired insurance salesman from Oklahoma. The real Marcus Rivera was 3 states away. The closest call came in September 2021, in Albuquerque. Casino security identified a positive match and immediately contacted federal agents. Agent Walsh's team was on site within 45 minutes, but Rivera had already left. Surveillance footage showed him cashing out $8,000 in chips just 12 minutes before FBI agents arrived. He had spotters, Agent Walsh concluded after reviewing the footage. Someone was watching for law enforcement and warning him when we got close. Rivera had built a network to stay ahead of us. By 2022, Marcus Rivera had been on the run for over 3 years. The FBI had spent millions, deployed hundreds of agents, and coordinated with law enforcement in 23 states. Rivera remained a ghost, always one step ahead, always just beyond their reach. But federal investigators never stopped hunting. Somewhere out there, the Casino Bandit was still armed, still dangerous, and still planning his next score. The break came from an unexpected location: Atlantic City, New Jersey, over 2,000 miles from Rivera's original hunting grounds. On March 8, 2022, advanced facial recognition systems at the Borgata Casino triggered an alert that would change everything. The match was 94.7% confidence, the highest rating the system had ever generated for Marcus Rivera. But this time, Agent Walsh didn't rush in. 3 years of near misses had taught the FBI patience. Instead of surrounding the casino, they initiated covert surveillance. We watched him for 72 hours, Agent Walsh recalls. He was playing blackjack under the name Robert Martinez, using professionally forged identification. He had grown a beard, gained weight, and wore glasses, but our upgraded facial recognition software saw through every disguise. Rivera had been gambling at the Borgata for 3 consecutive days, staying at a nearby motel and following a careful routine. Every morning at 10 a.m., he arrived at the casino. He played low-stakes blackjack, tipped dealers generously, and blended perfectly with regular customers. He appeared relaxed, confident, perhaps fatally confident. Federal agents positioned themselves throughout the casino and surrounding area. Undercover agents took seats at nearby tables and slot machines. New Jersey State Police coordinated roadblocks at every highway exit within 15 miles. After 3 years of failures, the FBI was taking no chances. Surveillance revealed Rivera's critical mistake. He was using a smartphone. NSA digital forensics specialists traced the device to a prepaid account Rivera had maintained for over 6 months. Location data showed he had been living in Philadelphia, just 90 miles away, for nearly a year. He got comfortable, explained cybercrime specialist agent David Park-Gower. After years of successfully evading capture, Rivera started taking risks. The smartphone was just the beginning. We found evidence of dating app usage, food delivery orders, even a false tax return filing. On March 11, 2022, at exactly 2:47 p.m., Agent Walsh gave the signal. After 1247 days on the run, Marcus Rivera's luck had finally run out. Rivera was sitting at his usual blackjack table, holding 17 against the dealer's 6, when FBI Special Agent Jennifer Walsh approached from behind. "Marcus Rivera, you're under arrest," she said quietly, placing her hand on his shoulder. For a moment, Rivera didn't move. Casino security cameras captured the exact second his expression changed, the realization that his 3-year, 8-month run was over. He slowly placed his cards face down, raised his hands, and said, "I've been expecting you." The arrest was remarkably peaceful. Rivera offered no resistance as federal agents handcuffed him and escorted him through the casino floor. Other gamblers barely looked up from their machines. After years of violent robberies and dramatic chases, the Casino Bandit's capture was almost anticlimactic. A search of Rivera's motel room revealed the tools of his criminal trade. 4 sets of false identification, detailed floor plans of casinos in Nevada and California, and over $34,000 in cash. Most disturbing was a notebook containing surveillance notes on 12 different casinos, including his previous targets and 8 new locations he was apparently planning to rob. It wasn't finished, Agent Walsh testified during Rivera's sentencing hearing. Evidence suggests he was preparing what he called Phase 2 of his operation. We may have prevented a dozen more violent robberies. Marcus Rivera was indicted on 17 federal charges across 4 jurisdictions. The evidence was overwhelming. DNA from 3 crime scenes, fingerprints on abandoned vehicles, and hours of casino surveillance footage. On October 15, 2022, Rivera pleaded guilty to all charges in exchange for avoiding a possible death sentence. U.S. District Judge Patricia Morrison sentenced Rivera to 35 years in federal prison without possibility of parole. "Your crime spree terrorized casino workers across the Southwest," Judge Morrison stated. "You showed no mercy to your victims, and this court shows no mercy to you." Today, Marcus Rivera, federal inmate number 47-91-198, is serving his sentence at Addiex Florence Supermax Prison in Colorado. He will be eligible for release in 2057, at age 73. The 11 casino workers he injured during his robbery spree have finally received the justice they deserve. The Casino Bandit's chips have been permanently cashed in.